Yeah.
Good day, Internet.
Good day, Internet.
What's going on, Internet?
Hello, internets.
Hello, Internet. Hello, Internet.
All of you.
Go. That's it.
Internet, my neighbors seem to be cutting down a tree right next to my studio. So if you hear it, then you know what it is. Yay.
Better the tree comes down.
Better the tree than me.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
you don't want it to. Did
That
it
old
rain
saying. Better tree than me.
there, out there? Did it rain at all?
Actually, I really don't like it when trees get cut down, but sometimes it has to happen. It's true. It just has to happen sometimes.
Well,
Yeah, I
that's
don't
why
know.
you don't send trees to boarding schools.
Right. That is why.
That is exactly why.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everyone knows that, right?
I don't know.
It's a
You
truism.
don't send a tree to
but-
boarding school, it'll get cut
Yeah.
down.
So I don't know. Is anybody keeping up with like WNBA stuff?
I am.
I was at the Aces arena for a concert a couple of weeks ago, and the buzz was palpable. So yeah, I've been kind of following it since
So
then.
it's the playoffs right now, but the biggest story is that it does not look like the commissioner of the league is going to make it to the end of the playoffs. It's
I
like
saw that. Yeah.
a player of stature. I'm sorry, I can't think of her name right now.
Nafisa Collier.
She basically read her very eloquently, and no one, not a single person yet, has come to the defense of the commissioner, and everyone else has kind of doubled down like, yeah, she's really, really horrible at what she does.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is right during the playoffs. This is not what we should not be
I mean,
talking
Stephen
about.
A. Smith's calling for her to go. Right?
Yeah,
Like, you're done.
It's a big deal. So I'm
The
like,
thing is, it's been a long time coming because people haven't liked her, especially players, for a really long time.
Is that
And
right?
when you have one of the most popular players who likes everybody and who never, really is like, the mean person, and to have a person like her, come out and read this 4-page statement that basically eviscerates her leadership, it's like, yikes. And also the fact that this player and Breonna Stewart, who is of the New York Liberty, they created their own 3-on-3 league that pays the players more, gives them more benefits and all those things. So in her statement, when she said, I would be cautious to say something like this if I hadn't created my own league and know what goes into doing this, maybe she wouldn't be as critical, but because she knows what goes into it and how this commissioner has responded.
I know they got a labor negotiation coming up too. So, I when I read this, I thought, okay, that's probably part of the bad blood, but it sounds like people just don't like that commissioner anyway.
they just
like,
don't
this was
like
brewed for a
her
long
at
time.
all.
They haven't liked her for a very long time.
And it's
And
like-
she was a pick specifically by the NBA. I think Adam Silver handpicked her for the role. So, yeah.
Well, people have problems with Adam Silver, too.
What? No.
Not like this though. They're not calling for his
No,
job.
not
it's
like this.
That's
That's
true.
true.
Yeah,
That's
this
fair.
is you literally have people saying that she no longer is. No matter what has happened, she can no longer,
She can't come back from
league.
this.
She can't come
No,
back
she's-
from this.
Yeah.
Have a good show, everybody.
Good day, Internet. This is DTNS Live for Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. From Studio Animal House, I am Sarah Lane.
From Studio 7 in Los Angeles, California, I'm Tom Merritt.
From Columbus, Ohio, I'm Robb Dunewood.
From the Atlanta area, I'm Nica Montford.
And I'm the show's producer, Roger Chang.
DTNS Live is made possible by you. Thanks to everybody out there, including Chris Beneteau, Jeffrey Zilks, and Alo Adam L. We appreciate all of your support.
That almost sounded a little Irish-esque of
Oh,
you.
did it? Did it?
Yeah.
Wow, I
DTNS
wonder why.
Live.
Oh,
My
how'd that creep in there? That's
I
weird.
don't know. I don't know. It might be some sort of a little teaser for what we might do later on in the show. We're not saying anything, though.
No.
We're not saying anything.
Stick around and find out what the crack is.
What we are saying is you are welcome to join us here on DTNS Live, the show where we discuss the tech news to help us all understand it a little bit better. Nica Montford, how are you doing?
I am doing very excellent. It's always good to be back with my DTNS family. So yay.
Well,
It's
and
good
we're
to
always happy to
have you.
have you. Always happy to have you. We got, you're an Apple aficionado. We have got plenty of Apple stuff that we're going to talk about on the show, but lots of other stuff as well. Robb Dunewood, how is it going in your neck of the woods?
It's going good. We're having that extended. It's not a heat wave, but it's like mid 80s for October. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. I'm not complaining.
Not complaining.
Still wear shorts to football games on Friday nights. That's always fun.
It's hot in those pads, though, for the players.
I would ask Tom and Roger how they feel about the weather in LA, but nobody really wants to hear about that. We talk about that so much anyway. But for everyone who is watching live, thank you for doing so. You can also help us name our episode. As we go through the show, head to dtns.showbot.tv to submit titles and vote on them. And we can check back in on the votes at the end of the show. Everyone always has really great stuff, but only one of you will be the vote getter of the day. And a reminder, we have an extended show for our patrons that we will get into right at the end. But let's start it off with a few stories that caught our eye today.
Yeah, right at the beginning of the week, Electronic Arts announced that a partnership of Silver Lake, Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, and Affinity Partners is going to pay $55 billion for a leveraged buyout of Electronic Arts, taking the gaming company private. EA CEO Andrew Wilson is expected to stay on after the sale. They need to go through some regulatory review. The deal is not expected to close until early 2027. So this is not happening anytime soon. We got to go through all of 2026 before we get to this. But then EA will be taken private.
I know this is a big deal, but my first reaction was, okay, how does this affect the consumer? Does it?
Well, the people who are fans of EA hope that this means that everything they hate about EA will change when it is taken private and they no longer have public pressure on them. I'm not sure how legitimate those hopes are.
The problem,
that's
Tom,
what I've heard.
The problem, Tom, is that everything about EA may change. That's the thing. It may not be the stuff you hate. It'd be everything. EA may not be EA in the way that we know it. If this is a true leverage buyout, and they don't figure out how to turn that back into a company, because usually these things get sold off for parts.
Yep, that's what a leverage buyout usually is.
And it's a private buyout, so it's no longer public, so you lose a little bit of control there too.
Yeah, and it takes the public pressure off, but it also takes the public scrutiny off.
Well, speaking of private, Bloomberg reports that OpenAI is now world's most valuable private company after a $6.6 billion secondary stock sale pushed its valuation to $500 billion. SoftBank, Thrive Capital, Dragoneer, MGX, and T. Rowe Price are all involved, which let current and former employees cash out some shares.
Yeah, so the idea here is I'm an employee. I've been an employee of OpenAI for a long time, but they haven't gone public. I need some cash out. I need to make some money. And then these companies that Sarah just mentioned say, okay, we will let you transfer your stock to us in a private way. It's not a public market. And we'll set a price. And then that price that they set is what ends up causing the $500 billion valuation. So,
which happens all the time. It just so happens that OpenAI is such a darling right now that, the price itself is quite catastrophic.
Well, it's $500 billion. 500 billion. They were just 300 billion back in the late winter, early spring.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, when SoftBank did the financing, they valued it at 300. And
So for them to jump like that is wild. And the other thing is that a lot of people sold a lot of stock, but not everybody sold all the stock. So a lot of the people inside of OpenAI are saying, no, we kind of like it here. And I think this is going to be even bigger. So I'm not
might keep going up.
Make me a millionaire right now, but I want to be a multi-millionaire later is kind of what a lot of folks I think have done.
I mean, remember when $1 billion was considered a unicorn? I mean, it still is. I don't think that's different now, but it's like, we got a lot of those. A lot of
unicorns these days. What's
it's
rarer?
gotta get a new name, maybe Ultra Unicorn.
That's what I was after. Like, what's rarer than a unicorn?
A Pegasus?
If you're not on your way to $1 trillion valuation, you're just slacking. Perplexity has made Comet its agentic browser, which came out a few months ago, and it cost $200 per month when it came out. Free $99 globally, aiming to compete with major browsers and search engines while also introducing background assistant for paid Mac subscribers. Now, Tom, you sent me an invite for this right a couple days after it came out, and I thought, oh, this is a really, really cool application. It's a really, really cool way to do things in a browser. And then that trial ended, and that $200 was about to hit. And I was like, I'm good. I'm going to go back and use a probe just like I always have. But
yeah, you didn't have any OpenAI stock to sell to fund your subscription. So
yeah, to go from $200 to free $99 is not bad.
Yeah, I might start picking up Comet. This is the trend, though, right? Everybody wants to be the browser that has the agentic stuff built in. You've got Opera doing it. You've got the Arc browser, the browser company folks doing Dia. You even have the Brave browser company toying with this kind of stuff. So it's no surprise to me that Perplexity is like, before OpenAI puts out their browser, let's try to get a few more Comet users.
I think they're probably also trying to at least get ahead of what Google might eventually do with Gemini.
Yeah, before they put more Gemini more in Chrome too. You're right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, those were 3 top stories that caught our eye over the last week, but there's more. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman sources say that Apple has paused work on a rumored lighter, cheaper Vision Pro headset to redirect resources towards AI-powered smart glasses. Smart glasses, kind of the rage these days. The company is said to be developing 2 models. There is the rumored N50 that would pair with iPhones but not have a display of its own. Could be unveiled in 2026, so that's next year. Release in 2027, so not happening tomorrow, but on the map. And a second version with an integrated display now being supposedly fast-tracked for launch before 2028. Apple would definitely be catching up with companies like Meta. There are others, but Meta is sort of the smart glasses company that we've all been talking about as of late, which has been selling smart glasses since 2021. So I wanted to ask the panel, and I'll start with you, Nica. If you were to have a pair of smart glasses, and I don't think you have a pair of Meta smart glasses, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what do you want them to do for you?
So for me, what I'm looking for in smart glasses, pretty much what I'm looking for in all tech, is make my life easier. So think about it. You're in a new town, you're visiting, you're trying to get an idea of what's going on. I want to be able to put on those smart glasses and say, take me to, the best coffee shop. And I want those glasses to be able to guide me directionally with where I'm going. I want to be able to
directions.
I want to be able to have these glasses be a complement to what I do in my everyday life. Of course, we have the Vision Pros. They go over the head. You can play games, do productivity. But for me, if you're thinking glasses or sunglasses or something that you're used to enhance your vision, that's what I want these glasses to do, enhance my vision, but more on a everyday technological, like advanced type of situation. So I always think of like Minority Report. When we saw that, it was like, oh my God, that's what the future is. And the way to go into a store and it will show you the prices of things that fit you or that you like. So I'm looking for something along those lines to be able to, like I said, complement what I'm doing in my everyday life, because I already have a mini computer in my hands with my phone. Give me something that complements that, where I may not have to necessarily look down at my phone, but give me a visual, with that. So give me some augmented reality, kind of overlay some things on top of what my natural eye would see. So for me, that's kind of what I'm looking for.
And I feel like so much of that turns into a natural language thing too, right? If you're walking towards a coffee shop and your smart glasses and your phone, they're both with you, but your phone is, in your purse or a bag or something, the glasses, to be able to be like, oh, are you going towards, north? This, this would be like a great place to stop in for a matcha latte or something like that.
Yeah. If it's something that I'm interested in and I'm walking by and I wouldn't maybe necessarily automatically go into this place or do the specific thing, for the glasses to be able to, give me a little ping and say, hey, you might like going into this place over here. Because if you're already going to have all my data, if you're already going to know my habits, if you're already going to have all of this personal data on me, at least use it for something that is going to benefit me, right?
Now, Rob, how do you feel about all that personal data being in your eyes?
I'm not bothered by it. A couple things here. For the last 2.5 decades or so, Apple has been the company that they didn't necessarily come out with something first, but when they came out with it, they kind of put their foot in it and made you think, oh, this is what whatever this thing is supposed to be. This is the way that it's supposed to operate. And this is not the case for Apple. They came out with the Vision Pro. The Vision Pros are fine, but I actually did a poll. I asked 3 people today that I knew, when's the last time you used your Vision Pro? And none of them have had them within the last month. They just don't use them anymore. They just, when I want to do something, I'll pull it out, but it's pretty infrequent. So what I think is happening here is that Meta actually got smart glasses right. This is what people want. If I were getting a pair of smart glasses, the Oakleys look kind of nice to me. That's probably what I would want. I want these things that I can wear. They have my prescriptions in them. They look like regular glasses. They're not something special unless the light is on and you see that I'm taking a video. And especially when, the Metas with the little screen in them, I kind of like that too. It's like, I don't need to read manuscripts in this, but I would like to see turn left here. Or if I look at a building, it'll tell me what that building is and maybe give me some history of it if I'm like on a vacation or something like that. And I don't have to pull my phone out and actually look at it when I'm actually looking at the building. So I think that Meta, at least for now, has gotten what smart glasses are supposed to be. And I think that Apple is now trying to catch up to that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know you'll like this analogy, Rob. I wonder if Meta is BlackBerry, and I don't know, Google or somebody else, Samsung is going to be Trio, the Palm Trio, and Apple's hoping to be the iPhone. Because my instinct when I see this is they are behind, and if Apple comes out with glasses in 2027 that don't have a display, why would I want them? And that is what Apple feels confident they can always answer, is the reason you'll want them is these are going to work so much better.
They're going to be so great. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm confident this time that they can pull that off, because what glasses without a display do well is answer questions, right? And record video. So maybe Apple, which is really good with cameras, is going to come out with some crazy cool camera that they can put in these that is really small, so it doesn't make them thicker, but has amazing video. That I could see them do. That they're good at. The assistant part of it, they're going to have to make a lot of progress with Siri before I believe that that's going to be superior to what might come from Gemini or OpenAI or somebody else.
And I wonder too, you mentioned taking video versus the Siri option that would give you a bunch of context, right? It's like, how much video are we all taking? So if I'm walking around, just around town, doing my thing, how often do I take video? I mean, I don't know, maybe a few times a week. Sometimes there's a really good reason, or there's, I don't know, a car accident, like whatever it might be. But like, that's not the reason I have the phone with me. It's because I'm about to take video. It's there as an option. So yeah, Roger, what do you think?
It's weird because I think if they were going to do something, it should be what everyone's comment, or Nica, you're saying it should be seamless. So you shouldn't be thinking about it. For example, if these glasses were just recording, for the most part that you're walking, not unlike a dash cam on a car, it wouldn't save all of it. But if you needed to pull back on something about something you looked at or something you totally spaced on, what was that person's name, or what was the address that they gave me? I forgot, let me wind back and see what I missed. I would actually be pretty useful, right? It would be sort of like a time machine, but for me in life.
Like a recall.
Yeah.
you hit that nail on the head.
And there are a lot of companies who are
note-taking stuff.
trying to do that. You know, it's like the personal assistant who just is, AI powered. Taking tabs on everything that you do and helping you later on where you're like, what did we say that the price of that was?
And the distrust of those companies is usually about privacy, which Apple has done a lot to try to bolster public trust with.
That's true.
Apple is trusted more than most. And me personally, just in the world we're living in, I kind of want to walk around with a body cam on. So if we can get these things to where they're just always running and
that's kind of what it is,
what I
right?
need. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, right?
Yeah.
You get into an issue where someone throws a punch, like, you can say, hey, look, I was just minding my own business.
Does that happen to you a lot?
Listen, I am not going to confirm nor deny any statements about that particular scenario, but it's, we're in a stage of society where we have the technology because now I don't want to say that we're becoming a lower trust society, but
what we are.
But I mean, like, like,
it is measurable that
I have a dash cam on my car because, you never know. And when insurance comes due and you're in an accident, one of the things they always ask you, do you have any video or anything recorded about that particular incident, like a dash cam?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess my last question before we move on off of this is, what happens to the Vision Pro? Rob, you mentioned 3 people who have Vision Pros. I am also a Vision Pro user. It is, where is it even? It's right
there it is.
I see it.
It's right there. Yeah. but I haven't put it on or even charged the battery in like a couple weeks. I find it to be very fun for media consumption, but it's like you don't need something that expensive to watch a movie. You can do that so many other ways.
You got the X-Real 1 Pros that I have do that pretty well. Maybe not as high resolution, right? But they do it pretty well.
Right.
How about a 70-inch flat panel television with HDR?
Can't wear that on your head.
Or that. And I'm not a developer, so I know, there are some devs out there being like, no, it's really good for this, this, and this. We get it. But it's still in that sort of like, oh, it's for developers. Okay, well, what's the next phase of this? We're not there yet.
And a special use case device is really, is it worth the price tag for you to say, I'm using this thing for one specific thing? And I think that goes back to the conversation with the glasses. You want something that you can use when you're using it. It complements the tech you already have. It's not something completely kind of separate and set apart. You want to be able to use it consistently, especially if it has a hefty price tag.
Apple is telling you what's happening. They said, here's what we're going to do. We're not killing the Vision Pro. We're just not going to work on the new one that people might actually purchase. Yeah. But what we are going to do is build these other things that Meta has right fast that everybody likes. So that's where we're moving to.
Yeah, it becomes an enterprise product or a developer product. There's an FCC filing that they've got an M5 processor for the Vision Pro that they, by all accounts, are going to put out before the end of the year. And then that's it for the Vision Pro for a couple of years, sounds like.
And before we get off of this, I'll have to say, if you remember back when Vision Pro was close to coming out, article came out where it was talking about the internal Apple conflict, where you had new Apple leadership who was full blown, full steam ahead with the goggles, with the actual product that was delivered. But you had some Apple purists who wanted to hold off on those and spend more time focusing on the glasses. And of course, we see who won out. And I'm thinking they may have seen, oh, we probably should have listened to these guys over here. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to focus on these glasses over these goggles just to try and get something in the marketplace.
All right, Tom, there's been a lot of buzz about deepfakes on the internet and specifically from OpenAI. What's the scoop?
Yeah, a little buzz going around about Sora. Sora is OpenAI's video model, and the app Sora lets you use Sora 2, the newest model that can generate 10-second videos, and the Sora app lets you include yourself in those videos. You actually scan your own image into what they call a cameo, and then you can decide if you want to be the only one that can use that, or if you want to share it with your friends, or if you want anybody on the Sora app to use it. Sam Altman lets anybody use his cameo to put in their videos, for example. 404 Media's Jason Kebler has a great article about all the copyrighted material that can be found in Sora, usually SpongeBob, some Mario, Nintendo characters, Rick and Morty. Some of those have been made in tasteless ways. I don't think that's going to shock anybody that a new social network has people pushing the boundaries. TechCrunch points out that there's an endless supply of fake videos of Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI now, which, of course, every video on Sora is fake by definition, but you would not be surprised that when Altman made that available, everybody did it. I thought it'd be fun for us to not only get the panel's thoughts about this, but also create a video. So I've got my instance of Sora up. If you'd like to put me or Brian Brushwood, Justin Robert Young, Andrew Main, Eileen, I've got access to all their cameos as well as my own. What kind of video would you like to see? And keep in mind, it's 10 seconds long.
I mean, I don't know. Are we all dancing?
Yeah. We can put
I
up to
for,
3 people
you know, for
in.
10 seconds, I'm like, I don't think we can get into some large debate.
And you can add objects. Can you add other creatures?
Yeah, you can describe things like, you know, I want to be riding a Pokemon, and then it'll make a...
I would like to see Brian Brushwood play ring toss onto a unicorn.
Okay.
I would like a panther wearing a birthday hat.
Panther wearing a birthday hat. Doing what? It's a video.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I think we're singing happy birthday to the panther.
Okay. All right. So Schwood plays ring toss on a unicorn while a panther wearing a birthday hat does what? I don't know.
He's in front of a cake.
Birthday cake.
Blowing out the candles on a cake.
Blowing out the candles on a cake. There you go.
Blows out the
So
candles
sophisticated.
on a birthday cake. Okay, here's my thought on
And make
this.
the
We've got
panther
two
the pink
actions.
panther, so we can.
It could be pink. It could
We
be
can
pink.
violate.
We might get a
Right.
content violation.
Yeah, we
It's
need
like
to, we need
that's
copyright
an intellectual
violations.
property.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
That's
got
the point.
two different actions. They're not related to each other, which could make it kind of scatterbrained. Are we cool with that?
I mean,
I think we need to be cool with it.
Yeah.
Let's
All
see.
right.
Let's see what we
That's
get.
for humanity. Let's see what happens.
oh wait, a birthday cat or a birthday cake?
Oh, thank you. Yes. Birthday
birthday-
cat would have been
birthday
pretty
cat.
amazing, though.
You know,
I
that's
changed it to
you
cake,
know,
but I can change it back. Yeah.
birthday
All right.
cat.
Brian Brushwood plays ring toss on a unicorn while a pink panther wearing a birthday hat blows out the candles on a birthday cake.
All right. Let's see.
All right.
Let's see what we get.
All right. It will now crunch on that for a few minutes while we discuss the rest of it. You could actually see some of my other Soras there in the background. I turn a lizard into a puppet. And there's the 1970 iPhone announcement and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's been interesting to watch this. I have what are these? I forgot to label them. Like Joe has ones of me getting sentenced for a crime by the Supreme Court of Podcasting.
Yep.
That I created.
We saw a little bit of
Abandoning
that.
His post by failing to release a scheduled episode. The bench. This court convenes to deliver sentence in the matter of the defendant before us, charged with abandoning his post by failing to release a scheduled
See, I
episode.
abandoned my
It's actually-
post.
It's pretty good, man.
It's pretty good.
It's
not
pretty good.
bad. What's the next one, Joe? I don't remember what order they're in. Oh, here we are inventing
Right,
podcast
gentlemen,
in the
wire recorder's
40s.
humming. If we can capture our own voices and play them back, why not share them with the whole country?
Like a radio show, but folks can choose the time they hear it. That's wild.
Right, gentlemen, the wire recorder's humming. If we can capture our own voices and play them back,
Okay,
why not share them
I'm
with the whole
kind of
country?
getting this now.
Yeah.
You know, the whole sort of like 10-second thing. And Tom, you and I talked about this on DTNS a couple days ago. You know, I'm like, what can you really do in 10 seconds?
Yeah.
But
that's what people are
apparently a
finding
lot.
out.
No,
Yeah,
10
exactly.
seconds is a lot of time. I
a lot
think
of
people
time.
really underestimate. 10 seconds is enough for me to make a lot of B-roll to cover someone's trip to Ireland.
Well, or
Right.
you know, and here I am thinking like, well, a TV show is 30 minutes, And a movie's 2 hours. I mean, this isn't going to do any of that.
But
that's not how people share things anymore.
Well, but that's
I mean, sure, they still
more
exist.
like TikTok, right?
Yeah. But this is the
Exactly.
thing. That's not how TV shows and movies are made anyway. You don't watch 2 hour of the same shot, right? It's a bunch of shorter, usually a minute or less shots from different angles of the same character or the situation, and you cut scenes. So it's a conglomeration of a lot of short clips put together to make 2
Yeah,
hours.
and some people are experimenting with like trying to make a series. Darren Kitchen's been doing a whole series of him with ducks and turtles and crabs, which are all the name of the Hack 5 products, but he's got actual ducks and crabs and stuff going on. I decided to try to deepfake myself and make a version of me on Daily Tech News Show talking about AI. My first attempt would not be allowed because the content violated guardrails concerning third-party likenesses because I used the term Daily Tech News Show. Even though it was me, it was like, you can't imitate Daily Tech News Show. That's against the rules. So I had to not use the brand name, and then I got this.
A lot of chatter about Sora clips floating around your feeds. A lot of them are being shared as if they're real footage. So I want to clear up what's actually happening. Take these posts as an example. One claims it's a protest in Tokyo. Hey folks, there's been a lot of chatter about...
that's definitely the way I talk.
That's not your voice.
This totally feels
I know you
like
too well. That's
like
weird.
a Timu version of
That's
you.
Bizarro Tom.
It's
The
like,
voice is
I can't get
definitely
the
like
real
not
DTNS.
his, but everything else, it looks
pretty good.
Oh, I mean,
looks pretty
it would
good.
fool a lot of people.
Yeah, so
Fool a
we
lot of
and people listening to the show intimately know what you, Tom, sound like. Folks who don't know what you sound like wouldn't know that wouldn't necessarily sound like you.
It looks like you.
It's passable.
Yeah.
Here's my question though. OpenAI made this opt out. So you have, if you're concerned about here's a copyrighted character, I don't want it to be in this, you've got to let them know. That seems backwards to me. It seems like it should automatically not include copyrighted stuff. Am I off base on that?
I mean, you're not off base. I think that's how most people would probably approach it. But then how do you do that, right? What's the list of the content that you would prevent? I mean, it's always easy to go like, oh, well, no Looney Tunes, no Disney stuff, right? But it's when you get to the edge cases that it starts to be like, well, you made a list, so you took responsibility and you left me off, so now I'm going to sue you, right? I think what OpenAI said was like, everybody tell us if you don't want us to use your stuff and we'll take you off. That is easier than us trying to guess who wants it off and who doesn't. And I'll be honest, there is so much SpongeBob and Rick and Morty on this thing that I wonder if Paramount, and they got new ownership with David Ellison, is saying, no, it's fine. Please, we think this is good. It will spread our brand. We're fine with it. So I'm actually more curious about who said, I don't want it taken off. Please let it continue.
I would imagine that some stuff, particularly SpongeBob and what's happening in Bikini Bottom, they're not happy about that. They probably want that stuff.
I mean,
taken
yeah,
out. But a lot
that's
of
the one
other
getting
stuff,
all the
right.
attention, right? Because it's using very Nazi oriented imagery. But I honestly didn't run into that one until I saw it on the 404 Media stuff. I saw plenty of other SpongeBob stuff out there. But you're right. Paramount would not be happy. Also, I didn't block Daily Tech News Show, and it's blocking me from using Daily Tech News Show. I don't know if Beastie Boys got blocked, but I tried to take Brian Brushwood's video about arbitrage, and I said, change it to where he's talking about sabotage by Beastie Boys instead of the economic principle of arbitrage. And it was like, no. I was like, don't play it. Don't show any intellectual property. And it was like, nope, could violate our content policies.
Yep. Just not
gonna
shut you
do it.
down.
So there are some things that are way over the line at protecting it. And then others like SpongeBob and Mario, which I very much doubt Nintendo is.
One
okay
would
with
think
this.
Nintendo
Yeah.
would be all over this.
Yeah.
They probably just got caught off guard with Sora. And somebody from the Nintendo legal department is
Maybe
working
it's the
hard right
time
now.
difference. They're just waking up in Japan and
I need to
realizing
check
this.
the news tomorrow, see what they say.
Yeah, right.
So if you've got if you've got feedback about anything that gets brought up on the show, get in touch with us on the socials at DTNS Show on X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and Mastodon. For TikTok and YouTube, you can find us at Daily Tech News Show.
All right, Nica, a new basketball intelligence platform called NBA Inside the Game, powered by Amazon Web Services AI, promises to offer NBA fans watching this season, which goes through 2026, more granular game stats. So what's going on here?
So that's the thing with this particular new platform. As you said, for the 2025-26 season, what's happening is they are using this AI-powered technology to track player movements in real time, and then they display these player stats on the screen during the game. So these new stats that are being rolled out will give fans a detailed metric like tracking individual defenders during an offensive play or quantifying how hard each shot for each player to take. And what it will do is track 29 different body parts of each player as they move across the court. And while we don't know specifically what these 29 different body parts are, because Amazon hasn't told us, what this is doing is showing us that this is some pretty advanced AI and algorithmic based technology. So how will this work? The movements will feed into their AI system to deliver stats that capture previously unmeasured aspects of basketball. And this is according to Amazon. So what this will do is it will have one of the stats is called expected field goal percentage, and it can predict the odds of what the person making that shot. They have this stat called gravity, which is meant to quantify the advantage individual players bring it to the court. And I wanted to bring this up because statistics in sports isn't new, but being able to track these body movements in real time and then display them on the screen is pretty fascinating how this is going to work. So these new stats will be live on NBA game broadcasts as well as the NBA app and website. So I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on what you think this means for the sporting space as well. I'm going to say something you probably aren't supposed to say, sports game betting, because a lot of times it's been two separate entities that can't coexist together. But now you'll be able to use these real-time stats to kind of adjust what some of your bets are if you're into sports betting as the game progresses. So it's a unique way to bring entertainment and technology together for the overall fan experience.
I can tell you right now, I am anticipating and looking forward to looking at statistics on LeBron James and comparing it in year 24-25 to year one. So when he does his trademark tomahawk dunk, I want to see the analysis of how far he is jumping or how less he's jumping, how much less he's jumping highly as compared to when he was 20. When he was doing it. Those are the kind of things I want to see. It's like,
that's exactly where my head went to.
Yeah, his gait is not what, his gait as a 40-something-year-old man is not the same as it was when he was 19. Right. And that's how come he's not the greatest ever. So I cannot wait for that kind of stuff because it's 29 different body parts are going to be studied with this. There will be some numbers on his average jump is 4.2 inches less from the third quarter on than it was 11 years ago when he was playing, because I'm certain that they will go back and look at old footage of him just to see how much worse he is now than he was back then.
Yeah.
And that could give you an appreciation of LeBron's game in the end, right?
It won't. If you love LeBron, you already love him. If you hate LeBron, you already hate him. This will do nothing except
you're not wrong.
More talking points to whatever side you're already on.
It's talking points. That's what you get.
And it was exactly what I thought. It's like, I want to see how much LeBron slowed down. But I was realizing but if he has a great game and you actually have seen how much he slowed down, you might be like, well, he's still pretty good.
Even more impressive.
Even at half LeBron, yeah.
I wonder if there are, and I don't know, depending on your contract, maybe you don't have this option, but how many players may say, I'm opting out of this. I don't want you to do this.
I don't know if they have that option because it's a partnership between the NBA itself. And so they have their player association that negotiates their contracts and their CBA agreements and all those types of things. So I don't know if
like all the
players have
health
ability
stats
to
are
opt
already
out.
shared. So yeah, how could you possibly opt out of this? I don't know. I'd be interested to see if someone's like a little too far.
It's an interesting question which stats are allowed and which aren't, right? Because you're not getting their heart rate here, which could start to verge on being a privacy violation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
it's
far as
not
the
necessarily
video-
your body biometrics. It's more of what that aggregate of all of your body functions does to create
Performance.
this one thing, to inform this one particular aspect of the game.
NBA players play their games on television. You can't tell people I don't want the camera to look at me. The camera's going to be looking at you the same way that it was last year. The difference is that you have another company that's going to take the data that the cameras give you and then crunch it up and give you some additional statistics. So I don't know that even if they wanted to not be part of this, that they could not be part of it. Maybe if they say, hey, I don't, Amazon, I'm not feeling you like this, I'm going to talk about you. Maybe there's that, but my gut would tell me the Players Association would have to get involved there. That's not going to be something that an individual player could say, no, I don't want my stats on the games that I actually play on television.
Yeah, I mean, if you roll your ankle, it's like, okay, everybody saw it.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
And it's aggregated stats, so it's not pure I guess measurements of you as a person that's displayed. It's the aggregate of all these different things that's run through a system that then gives you the defensive score box, which breaks down typical stats such as rebounds, blocks, or defensive players for that play. So it's one of those things where it's a collection of things that they would a lot of times already document, that the statisticians for the game takes. When you look at the end of the game, the box score, how many points scored, the over under, how many rebounds, how many offensive boards, how many defensive boards. But what the difference is where you would see these kind of like at the end of the game where you got the full picture. Right now you're getting a big piece of the puzzle put together as it happens real time in front of you.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what these videos of mechanics, of just looking at how you're running, how you're jumping, how you're laboring, how you're breathing, all those kind of things, that would be good for the training staff, for them to know, hey, we looked at you over these 12 games. It looks like you're kind of favoring you're favoring your right leg. Is there something going on? Do we need to go do an MRI or something like that before? Because players will play through pain. Maybe Kawhi Leonard won't, but most players, they want to be on the floor. So they will actually say, yeah, I'm good. And they'll be out there and they'll play. And you kind of have to trust what they say. But if you can see, oh, you're not ready yet. You've been laboring for like the last 12 quarters. We want to have you sit down for 2 games just to get some rest or something like that. I think that would be valuable information for the actual training staffs as well.
That's what some of those Irish startups that Jason Howell has been interviewing for DTNS, the daily version, are talking about, is sensors that the players wear. And that becomes an interesting question of like, okay, well, if you've got that information, how much of that gets made public? Because that is starting to be medical information, and teams protect that, but fans may, pressure like, I want to know. I've got a fantasy team. I'm making bets, like Nica said. I need to know if this person's really hurt or not.
Yeah. And I will say, what I've worked with object detection algorithms before, and it was difficult enough in the instance that I was using it for. It was for stationary objects. And I would love to look under the hood to see what this is made of, because you're tracking at any given time 10 different people that are on the court at the same time. So you have these 10 individual players. You need to be able to differentiate between who's a player and who's a referee. You need to be able to kind of cut out some of the noise that's surrounding those players. And you're tracking 29 different body parts. So times that by 10, real time. How are they parsing all of this data and then running it through an algorithm and then giving you the results of that aggregate for multiple stat levels at one time? It seems to be a pretty robust algorithm that they have behind this platform, because it's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, speaking of a lot, Robb, Amazon and Google had quite a few hardware announcements this week. So what caught your eye?
That's right, Sarah. It has definitely been a week. Amazon and Google announced their fall lineups of smart home and entertainment devices, all powered by the next generation AI assistants that promise more intuitive, personalized experiences. So let's just start with the ones that I'm most interested in, the smart speakers. This is what I think a lot of folks have been waiting for. So if we start off with Amazon, there is a new Echo Dot Max. The Echo Dot Max has 3 times the base as the old Echo Dot, but it does come at twice the price. So this thing is $99. There is an Echo Studio. Now that's the big bucket looking thing before, but now it is 40% smaller, and it is coming in at $219.99. And then there's the Echo Shows. You have the 8-inch, the 720p at $179.99. The Echo Show 11, which is 1080p at $219.99.
I ordered an Echo Studio, but the reason I did is because the Google speaker ain't coming anytime soon.
No time soon. So speaking of Google did.
Man, I had it on my live with it in the live with it spreadsheet for myself, Tom. But okay, that'll be your live with it.
We can both do it. Let's team up, and then we can pair them together and do stereo.
that is true.
We could. Yeah, we could. No,
they look like tilted HomePod minis to me. A HomePod mini at an angle.
I think they look cute.
Yeah,
I'm into them.
A lot of people are saying that these things do look like Apple stuff. So I've never had any of the Apple ones, so I don't really have anything to.
I have 3 of them,
but they do look nice. And wow, I would appreciate the Studio being smaller, because that thing was like a bucket before. That's what people affectionately called the bucket. The bucket assistant. Google also came out with some new speakers. They have the new Google Home, which it comes in 4 colors. It is built around Gemini. So this has got the Gemini assistant built right into it. It's $99. And one of the cool things that you can do is that you can pair these things and put them to your Google Home TV streamer if you've got one. You can also put them into listening groups. So you can have multiple speakers playing the same thing simultaneously. So that's pretty cool. But Google did not release nearly as much as what Amazon did. We are moved over to the streaming side, the streaming TV side of things. Amazon had a lot of offerings here as well. So first off, everything now has Alexa Plus built in as far as their streaming sticks and their Fire TVs. They have a new Fire TV Omni, which is a QLED device. It comes in at $479. They have they have new 2 and 4 series Fire TVs from 32 to 55 inches, starting at $179.99. And then there is a Fire Stick 4K running the new Vega OS. That is something that is new. They're running, they're not the Android based any longer. They're running this new OS, and that's coming in at $39.99.
That is very affordable, I would say.
Yeah. The weird thing about the Vega too, if you're like, well, wait, if it's a new operating system, are they going to have apps? Verge reporting that they're streaming Android apps from the cloud to Vega OS in emulation. So you should have all the same apps on this one, but it'll be faster and more efficient on the local end.
Another thing that a lot of people are wondering about, are you going to be able to jailbreak these things? Because a lot of people will get the Fire Stick and then they will do things that are not necessarily prescribed by the manufacturer. My gut tells me eventually, somebody's going to figure it out. But that will be different. Stuff you were doing on your Fire Stick before, you will not be doing on these new ones, at least not day one.
In fact, a bunch of people got really excited that they have a new operating system they get to crack at, right?
Right. So it's fun to actually go figure it out.
Yeah.
So Google did not have any new hardware on the streaming side, but and this is a week ago, Gemini was added to Google TV. So now if you're using Google TV, you can just ask it questions like you would of any other Gemini interface. And as I've already said, you can pair up to 2 of the Google Homes to a Google TV streamer. So you can actually use the Homes as the surround sound system for the Google TV streamer, which is kind of cool. So there is a bunch of security cameras and doorbells that were released. Once again, starting with Amazon, we've got the Ring Wired Doorbell Pro 4K. So they've actually put a 4K camera into the Ring doorbell. That starts at $249.99. There is a Ring Wired Doorbell for $179.99. An Outdoor Cam Pro 4K for $199.99. A Spotlight Cam Pro 4K for $249.99. a floodlight cam Pro 4K for $279.99, and then the indoor cam plus 2K for $59.99. So Amazon is rocking with hardware. They got a ton of it that has come out this week.
You know, the 4K thing, my first reaction when Amazon had its announcement on Monday, I guess it was, I was sort of like, 4K? I mean, security cam. I mean, are we really looking at your precision here? But yes, there are certain scenarios where that would actually matter. And it also helps the camera understand, oh, that's you. No, that's a raccoon. No, that's your neighbor. No, that's a person who shouldn't be here, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And my gut tells me at 4K, they're going to be able to actually see license plates pretty clearly as well. For
That too.
yeah,
Depending on where they are.
Right.
Google was arguing that the Zoom stuff and the facial recognition you only need 2K for, and that 4K was overdoing it. So I'll be curious because you're about
and
to
that's
talk
why I
about
brought
Google
it up
stuff.
too, because it's like does this matter? Does it matter? Because you're going to be paying for it. So do you care about this? Does this matter to you?
Well, Tom, Google could be making the argument because all their stuff is only 2K. So they have the new Nest doorbell at $179.99 2K. They've got the new the Nest Cam Outdoor for $149.99 and the Nest Cam Indoor for $99.99. So these are all new. And the big thing on these ones, actually all of them from both manufacturers, is that they do include the new Google Assistant or the new Amazon Assistant built into these things. So that's pretty cool. I should also note that on the Amazon side of things, that they did release a new blink. It's called the Arc, which is a 2-camera 180-degree view camera. So it almost does like a panorama. It stitches everything together, so you don't have to look at multiple feeds for the cameras on both sides of these things. And that's only $99.99. And they also announced a Blink Outdoor 2K Plus and a Blink Mini 2K Plus camera as well.
If they could add a Blink with the 180-degree view. With
I wonder if
degrees.
Sonos is going to sue Blink for calling it the Arc.
They would have done it.
I guess
we'd know about it.
Yeah.
There's also the Arc browser, and there's a spacecraft called Arc that's going to deliver cargo. So I guess they figure it's a different enough category that they won't get confused.
So who's getting what? I'm kind of interested in the Fire Stick, because I've just always had Fire Sticks, and it's kind of cool. They just throw them in a bag and take them around with you. So that's probably what I want to pick up. Anybody else picking up anything?
Yes, Sarah's getting an Echo Studio because I just ordered it. So
you did?
Yeah, so it's coming. It's coming.
Happy birthday to me.
October 29th, so a little late for the birthday, but
Well, it's fine.
Spot the cats.
No, it's from Amazon's announcements, because I have an Echo. It's an older Echo, an 8-inch screen that's in my kitchen, and it's chugging along, all good. But I have never had another Amazon branded speaker. That's the Echo Show, which is what I'm talking about in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. The only one I've used Sonos speakers, and both of them have crapped the bed recently. That's a story for another time. So, but when I saw the Studio, I was like, you know what? This looks pretty darn good. And I've been thinking about getting a sound bar for under my TV, because right now it's just my TV speakers, which is fine, not the end of the world, but it would be nice to have better sound quality. And the Studio looked pretty promising.
Yeah, and I want to try out the music quality. Right now, when we play music in our living room, we usually do it off the TV because we have a nice Vizio surround sound sound bar 5.1 thing, and that works. But there are times when I'm like, I don't want to turn the TV on and then go into an app. I'd rather just talk and say, play this from Spotify or Apple Music. So we're going to see if that ends up being a good use case.
I'm interested to see how good will 2 Google Homes plugged into a TV streamer actually sound. Will that sound as good as, it's not going to sound as good as like a complete surround sound system. It can't. It's not enough speakers. But will it sound good as one of the cheaper sound bars that people might get? Because these things are, they're $100, so like $200, and you now can kind of simulate a surround sound system without having to actually go buy a sound bar if it's just for not your main TV, but one in a, your office or off room or something like that. It might be kind of cool.
I know that audiophiles, they will angrily write into us for what I'm about to say, but 5.1 surround sound, it's great. Many people just don't have the money or the space. It really depends on the room that you're, building that for. I find that 2 speakers and a sub, you're good to go.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Most audiophiles would agree with you.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I have nothing to contribute to this conversation.
I
own a single Fire Stick that I got many years ago, and it's just kind of plugged into a TV that
Blink
I don't really use.
The Blink 180. I just want to say Blink 182.
I know. I'm like, just call it Model 182. Get it over with.
But that actually seems pretty useful. I mean, for $100, you get a big. It covers a parking lot sized area. So it's pretty handy if you do want to do security, but you definitely don't want to outlay like over $1,000 to just put something together.
Yeah, because I'm thinking the Echo Dot did not sound bad. That thing actually sounds pretty good. So if it's got 3 times the bass as that, it probably sounds pretty nice.
All about the bass.
Yep. It is all about the bass. Tom, I wanted to check back in about that Sora video that you were creating. We kind of moved on, but do we have one?
It finally rendered, and it is better than expected.
Oh my God.
It is Brian Brushwood playing ring toss on a unicorn and the actual Pink Panther.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Blowing out. Here, I'm going to play the audio. Here we go.
Toss. Yes. Right on the horn. And the candles are out. We are crushing this party. Nice breath control, by the way. Hey, you nailed that shot. Happy birthday to me and have time for the toss.
That is wild. It's very different than what I thought we were going to look at. But better.
Yeah.
It's better than I expected. Sometimes these are not. Sometimes these fail. But this one worked like really well. It filled in the gaps.
So if I didn't know that the Pink Panther side of this was fake, I would actually think that's somebody in the Pink Panther costume.
In the costume, right?
That's pretty good.
In fact, as I'm looking at it now, I'm like, is someone in there?
It even does the velvet sheen, because
it's got some creases around the hips and everything.
It's got the wrinkles in the actual costume.
Like like the way they move, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the only thing that's weird is Brian Brushwood's tie, and then the fact that when he ring tosses on the unicorn,
what's weird?
The rings are a little weird. Yeah.
It looks like it looks
weird.
It doesn't. Yeah, it looks weird. It doesn't.
It doesn't drape naturally.
Yes,
I think that's what you're noticing. Yeah. Should we post it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Post it.
Anybody on Sora, you can go check it out over there at sora.chatgpt.com or in the app.
Oh my gosh. This is fun as heck. We could do this all day. But what we're going to do right now is check out the mailbag.
Rodrigo in Rio de Janeiro has some personal thoughts on AI. And Rodrigo writes, I took my daughter to the doctor. The doctor prescribed some stuff. We got home. I launched the drugstore nearby app and sat down to order whatever was needed. Holy moly, I couldn't distinguish an A from a Z. Since DTNS has made me much more savvy on AI, I uploaded the prescription picture to ChatGPT and kindly asked for the translation. Funny, the responses were like, it looks like this is an XXX A300, but it does not make any sense. Probably is XXX B500. Then it hit me. How can I trust this on a sensitive matter such as medicine for a child? Then another idea hit. I should talk to the attendant I know from a drugstore around 10 kilometers from home, close to where I used to live. I get in the car, I drive to his place, and I beg for mercy. He kindly asks me, what is she feeling before she went to the doctor? Gets a basket, disappears into the back, and returns with a basket full of 3 items. If any big company wants to train their LLM on doctor's prescriptions, get in touch.
Yeah, this is a great story because it shows that like it's great. These tools are great for some things, but not for everything.
Yeah, for some things. And sometimes it's like, you don't want to hallucinate when you got a sick kid.
Yeah.
But we're not doing that.
Sometimes it's surprisingly, wow, that actually proved to be incredibly useful.
Not taking any chances.
Yeah. On not with prescriptions,
medicine. I'm not medicine for myself, medicine for a pet.
I will say, Yeah, I've seen certain listings where you have to pay because it's a paid listing service, and I just literally take a snapshot of the item and then run it through like Gemini, and it's just like, hey, find me all the listings, because it's a public listing. It's just an aggregator that puts it behind a paywall. Just find me this, and it just pulls it up. And it's like, oh, perfect.
So here in the States, do doctors still just write raw prescriptions like that? Or do
They get
have to
filed
actually print them out?
electronically most of the time.
that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah, I haven't had a doctor write me anything physical in a long time. Well, I'm also a Kaiser patient, so that's a little different than some other insurance companies, but everything's just in the cloud.
That's what I thought.
Well, remember, if you have thoughts about medication, technology, or anything in between, you can send us your comments to feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. Of course, if you're a patron, you can also comment on anything we post to Patreon as well. We read them all. Nica Montford, thank you so much for being with us today. Let folks know, what's your latest?
You can find me at Tech Savvy Diva pretty much on every social media platform. You can also check out my podcast, Snob OS Podcast, where we talk all things Apple and then some. I co-host it with my co-host, Brother Tech, Terrence Gaines, who's been on this show before. And also, when I was on here last, when we did the live stream of the Apple announcement, I did not get to say it, and I definitely wanted to say it now. Thank you so much to all the DTNS listeners who provided feedback on Experiment Week. It was so good to hear feedback from the show as well. So definitely thanks to everybody who listened and gave some feedback.
Awesome.
Much appreciated.
During the show, you've been submitting titles over at dtns.showbot.tv, and we've got some good ones for you. Let's start with Larry in Atlanta's bunches of fake videos.
It reminds me of millions of peaches.
Peaches for free. Yeah. I do wish we had left it at cat. Maybe I'll remix it with candles on a birthday cat.
On a birthday cat. Yeah. I mean, our Sora was so good. I don't want you to screw with a really good thing, Tom, but that could be a fun remix.
Yeah.
GPEG84's got a good one. Everyone likes free 99.
I know I do.
It's the best.
I definitely do.
Let's see here. Zoe brings bacon, candles on a birthday cat.
Yeah.
So Tom, you're going to definitely have to do that.
I'm definitely remixing that. Yeah. Smart glasses sending metadata to your brain.
That's a good one. Who was that? Line
video. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one there. Sarah, what did we decide to go with today?
We went with Nick with a C's, Apple rumored to be inventing Google Glass.
That's a good one.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that is
a good one, Nick.
Big thank yous to everybody who supports us in all the myriad ways. We got people who just watch us on LinkedIn. We got people giving us super chats and fun stuff and support on YouTube. We got people subscribing to our Twitch. Tom says, Go Chiefs is back for the 28th month, says happy autumn. Technomensch gave us some bits. DJM Tech followed us. Zoe gave us some bits. Stealth Dave is back for the 26th month. DeBron314 back for the 23rd month. We got bits from DJ Fission as well. PC Milesley is back. Chaz Basden is back. Brian M64. Ryan in Minneapolis. Stealth Dave. GPEG84. W Scottus 1. G James B. Net Guy Green. Everybody's back. Good to have all of you supporting us in all the various ways, including patreon.com/DTNS. If you are a patron, stick around, because the show is not ending for you. We've got a very cool Roger-invented quiz coming your way. It might even have a brogue.
You can watch us live every Thursday, because that's when we do it, 4 p.m. Eastern, 2000 UTC, and you can find out more at dailytechnewsshow.com/live. Be sure to keep up with Daily Tech Headlines and Daily Tech News Show all week, plus weekly Live With It episodes, new hangouts throughout the week, and we've got bonus weekend content that we hear you are enjoying, so we're going to keep doing it. We'll see you next Thursday.
This week's episode of DTNS Live was created by the following people: producer and host Sarah Lane, host Tom Merritt, host Robb Dunewood, producer Roger Chang, Video producer Joe Coots. Producer at large Anthony Lemos. Social media producer and moderator Zoe Dutterding. Our mods: Beatmaster, W. Scottus1, BioCow, Captain Kipper, Steve Guadarrama, Paul Reese, Matthew J. Stevens, a.k.a. Gadget Virtuoso, and J.D. Galloway. Mod and video hosting by Dan Christensen. Music provided by Martin Bell and Dan Luters. Art by Len Peralta. Acast ad support from Tatiana Matias. Patreon support from Bobby Wagner. Our guest this week was Nica Montford. And thanks to all our patrons who make the show possible.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
All right, Roger Chang. It is Thursday, and we like to play games. One way to